Aviation. Today, this sector is flying high, making up more than 5% of the U.S. total gross domestic revenue and connecting hundreds of millions of people and packages each year. It's pretty much involved in every sector of business and personal life today. But airlines are facing an uphill battle as they struggle to keep airplanes crewed with sufficiently well-trained pilots. Independent studies, including the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the FAA, the Audrey's Aircraft Study, and others, have all been warning of a global pilot shortage. This shortage already began in late 2014 and will continue for the next few decades. Internationally, airlines will need 500,000 new pilots, and in the U.S. alone, analysts believe that there will be a deficit of more than 3,000 pilots annually, leaving many airplanes, grounded. How did this deficit happen? Well, first, you make the retirement age of pilots 65. As a result, over 20,000 pilots retire in the next 10 years. These pilots make up 60% of the current airline pilot labor force. Second, you increase requirements to become an airline pilot. FAA minimum flight hours to become an airline pilot increased from 250 to 1,500 hours. Talk about a big jump. Third, you legislate more need. FAA mandatory pilot rest time regulations have required airlines to increase their pilot staff by 5%, even as the deficit surges ahead. The pilot shortage has ballooned into a much bigger problem than analysts expected, and the industry continues to grasp for a solution. One major reason for a delay in a solution is the lack of understanding of the College Cost Reduction Act. Passed in 2008, the College Cost Reduction Act lowers qualification requirements for students attending universities to be approved for financial aid. But this move has actually driven up the cost of tuition for colleges and universities across the country. And the same law restricts any student from accessing financial aid if their chosen school is not accredited. Big problem. Flight schools in the United States are mostly classified as vocational schools, and, although approved by the FAA to train airline pilots, pretty much across the board do not qualify as accredited. Take into consideration that the route of university takes 4 years and costs $150,000 to $250,000. At flight schools, students can be trained and working for an airline in less than 2 years. The cost sits as low as $65,000, even less in some cases. Because most students need some type of financial assistance for their education, and the only option to obtain these loans has been through universities, these students have either delayed their training or changed careers. Result? More flight schools and airlines grounded. Then something interesting happened. In 2015, Airline Pilot Financing, APF, was introduced. Airline Pilot Financing provides unique student loans for vocational flight schools who are approved by and monitored by Epic Pilot Solutions, EPS, throughout the United States. This financial aid is specifically designed for students pursuing aviation as a career, with payback structured to follow salaries of the airlines. This allows the students to focus on their career and not drown with traditional-style student loans. Unlike traditional student loans, which only take into consideration student income and credit score, Airline Pilot Financing focuses on student performance. They base approval on criteria like motivation, hand-eye coordination, and overall aptitude, which illustrates the student's ability to complete the course and be hired by an airlines. This type of lending has opened the door to thousands of young people who otherwise may not have qualified, and with that, there's a new hope in filling in the pilot shortage. Because Airline Pilot Financing works with motivated students and utilizes the existing network of flight schools and flight instructors, they're helping both the new students reach their goals and airlines fill pilot positions. Want to learn more about Airline Pilot Financing or become an Epic Pilot Solutions certified school? Then visit the site below now and start the conversation.